In this session, let's talk about a value delivery. So far, we have been building up with a governance is it meant to deliver the value to the business by using the resources and optimizing the risks. In this case, now let's look at more details on value delivery. Value delivery objective here is ensuring the benefits delivery to the business from the money spent on IT operations and initiatives. It's as simple as the money what is given or the budget or the funds given to the IT versus the value to the business. So now the question is how to ensure the benefits are delivered to the business. In this case, you can look at the stakeholders who are influencing IT organizational activities, or the primary stakeholders are board of directors, executives, and business leaders. So how would they ensure there is a benefits are coming from the IT or from, first of all, let's look at this in two broad categories. One is budget for existing services or budget for new initiatives. It can be as simple as if there is no value coming from IT, then they will reduce the budget for existing IT operations. And if there is no value coming from IT, and they will reduce the budget for new initiatives. So going back to the first one is budget for existing services, which are directly for IT run operations and services. But budget for new initiatives can be looked at again three parts here. One is before investment, the stakeholders can look at where the investments are asked for and approving them before the investment. And after they made an investment, by observing how how the projects are progressing. And the final part here is once the projects are completed, by checking if the projects are giving the expected benefit of these projects and the funds what are assigned to them. So how do they check the delivery of the benefits from all these four boxes, I would say, or by having this proper metrics, proper reports, dashboards, KPIs from all these four boxes fed back into the stakeholders. So what we're looking at is the stakeholders can control the budget and allocate the budget to influence the value delivery, benefits delivery, and measure the benefits delivery by looking at the reports and metrics. So let's look at all these four boxes here and see what can be the reports and metrics. The first one is IT run. What kind of measurements there for IT run operations and services? IT services effectiveness in terms of usability, availability, and responsiveness, and efficiency in terms of cost, redundancy, and technical health, and number of compliance violations with regulations, legislation, common law, or contractual, or number of security incidents, um, or even to some ratios, a ratio of significant incidents that were not identified in risk assessment versus total incidents. So if we do proper risk management, there will be very less number of risks which are not part of assessment. So this even tells us how IT operations are running. And number of significant unplanned application outages, major incidents, and service interruptions. Having a plan for maintenance purpose is one thing, but if there are a lot of unplanned activities are happening, that means there are maybe IT operations are not running properly. Or even some companies, they do regular satisfaction surveys with the business users on IT services. Like when you call a help desk, what's your service? How long your ticket is getting resolved? So this is all the metrics in terms of service deliveries and even user satisfaction. Um, if you take it to the vendors, it can be service level agreements to measure IT operations. So now let us look at the investments for new initiatives. So we're looking at before investments. Here, the goal here is establishing a target investment mix. So the stakeholders can control what to invest and how much to invest for what for this target investment mix to ensure the value delivery is happening. Obviously, there are metrics to come out. So one is the target investment mix can be depending on multiple dimensions or aspects here. One is strategic needs. What are the company needs to grow and sustain? And business needs tactical because business who's running may say, hey, I want some other applications to make my process better. So they can be called tactical. And operational needs, something went wrong and they need some help or some initiative to make operations better. And IT needs, IT has its own needs to make it more efficient and maybe more reliable. They may have to upgrade the applications or maintain the infrastructure. And again, IT performance are past projects, how the funding went for past projects, how IT performed. They can consider even this aspect as well. And finally, technology trends. So before investment, the stakeholders can look at all these dimensions and control the budget and decide the target investment portfolio to ensure that whatever IT is doing are aligned with the interest to the business and stakeholders. So the outcome of this target investment mix is basically goals for IT, saying that, hey, this is what we're expecting from you, and there are approved investments for a specific project portfolio. So there is a alignment is given ahead of the time by having the stakeholders approvals and project portfolio. So now let us look at in progress of investments. So the investments are made, how the stakeholders can get measurement of these progressing projects. Progress of the projects, there can be a lot of dashboards, like what are the projects progress? Are they in scope? Are there the time is expected timelines going on? Our cost is under control? So there can be a one slide representation of all the projects, or can be a dashboard interactive reports to the stakeholders. And another way to ensure the progress is reported back is having a continuous alignment with stakeholders and enterprise goals, because they may change, and having this flexibility to accommodate the changing needs and having alignment and metrics around activities and resource utilization. So when you're having a project, hey, we're using 95% of resources. If you define these metrics, that gives the stakeholders a satisfaction that the projects are going as expected and risks are managed, resources are utilized, um, and escalations and setbacks along with the risk register. If we are managing proper risk register and sharing what risks are happening, and even number of escalations can give some control to the stakeholders on the benefits delivery. And upon review of reports, and if management or stakeholders are not happy with the reports, they could influence with the corrective actions so that the investments may have to be adjusted, or maybe certain limitations have to be helped by executives so the projects can get back on track. So these are some of the ways that the progress of investments can be measured or observed or monitored. And the finally is projects are completed. So how do you measure the outcomes of these projects? So progress towards identified goals, the extent to which planned objectives have been achieved, deliverables obtained, performance targets met, and risk mitigated. So before ask for investment, there were a lot of promises made. After the close, those promises have to be measured. It tells that the value is getting out of these investments or not. And percentage of investments where stakeholder expectations met with a delivered value. There can be a matrix on that. Percentage of projects which are completed on time within the planned budget. That tells that whether IT is performing better or they have this scope creeps or bad management of these projects. And ultimately, satisfaction survey of stakeholders on transparency of the project's progress and cost. Okay, they delivered the project, but did they keep stakeholders engaged, aligned, and keep them informed on the progress of it? So these are some of the metrics can be helpful for stakeholders to know after the project's completion is done. So to summarize, we have looked at how to ensure the benefits of delivery from two parts. One is before investing or before with the budget. Once is the things are progressing, but having appropriate metrics and reports. So that with having these proper controls and proper measurements, we can ensure the benefits are delivered to the business. So finally, to end this session, let me show you the frameworks. So this is a good picture, tells that there is another framework called ISACA framework called ValIT. This is a program, this framework primarily having these two questions. One is strategic question is, are we doing the right things? Are we getting the benefits out of it? So there is a ValIT framework, and that is what we have spoken that um, doing the right things means having a proper investment mix, having a proper project portfolio is doing the right projects approved by stakeholders, considering all the strategic and operational and business needs. And how are we getting the value? By having the proper measurements out of that. Now, the COBIT asks other two questions in this context. One is, are we doing them the right way? That's where the architecture comes into picture. The projects are approved, funded, but are we doing them the right way? Right systems, right integration, right protocols? The architecture question. And the finally is, are we getting them done well? This is where the measurements we spoke of IT operations or projects completion. So having these measurements can help us to see if they are done well or not. So with this, value delivery aspect of governance is completed.